everybody, and welcome to another edition of Shooting the Breeze. Now, this is a late edition this week just because, well, with everything that was going on in the world this week, it just didn't feel like the right time to broadcast, so we pushed it back a day. And thankfully, our guest was willing to do that with us, and he is none other than Matt Thomas from what is the actual name of the channel?
Who Are They Real Entertainment?
Right, because I know you more as Spin from the Reel, right?
Seems like everybody, even Shug is always like, Spin from the Reel. I'm like, Who Are They Real Entertainment?
Yeah. So, well, put it succinctly, these guys are some real dudes. So, Matt, you want to introduce yourself a little bit, just in case this is the first time anybody's ever met you?
Yeah. My name is Matt Thomas. I am a critic out in Ohio. I do movie reviews. Well, it's kind of slowed down this year, of course, with the past year, considering what's been going on in the world and the lack of films. But that's kind of my side job. My main job is a day job. It's not what I'm passionate about, but it pays the bills. And pays for some of this cool stuff you'll see. But yeah, I've started off as a freelance critic at the age of 10 for the Akron Beacon Journal here in Ohio.
Wow. So you started young then.
Yeah, and then I kind of stepped away from that after a few years because my dad got switched to sports. He was the main movie critic, and then for kids' movies and the questionable, would some parents take their kids to see it? Some might not. I would go to those and cover those. And then middle school, high school, started college, kind of moved away from it, and then when I discovered Collider and Christian, more so specifically because what brought me on to Collider and the Schmodown and everything was Jedi Council. That kind of showed me I could do what I wanted to do, but take these other elements I loved when it came to media and do that. So
that seems to be the common denominator when it comes to all this. It's Christian Harloff. The dude's, I don't know if he realizes just how big his reach is.
Yeah. It was funny because I know you had the Rager over on Schmoes of the North.
Did.
And when he talked to me before about the Rager, and I got to meet him at Star Wars Celebration back in 2019. I told him that then, and I reiterated that to him. He's like, dude, I appreciate it, but let's be honest, you wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't already in you. And it's like, you're not wrong, but I'm still not gonna say finding you didn't have a profound impact on where I am right now. So
basically, to put it into a movie term, if you watch the movie Soul, Christian Harloff is the spark for all this. Yes, it may have been in us, but if it wasn't for us seeing him and the Schmoes, we probably wouldn't have been here right now doing this.
That is correct. Even though I'm going to be honest, I'm one of the few people who don't like that movie.
Hey, perfectly well enough. It hit me in the right spot at the right time as a musician. So I get it. Not everybody. You know what I realized watching the movie? You know what my spark is? Doing this.
Yeah.
That's what I took away from it.
Yeah, so. I agree completely. And I keep meaning to tell you this. I admire the Tarzan poster. Especially, I know it's there because of Phil Collins' epic soundtrack for that film.
Damn right. So I got lucky with this. When Captain Marvel came out, my local movie theater, they had this big giant cart, and it was like tubes of posters. But not the posters that were listed on the tubes very rarely were in there. So I happened to open, I spent like $20, bought like 40 posters, and this happened to be in there. So it was like beautiful. This was in there. My BVS one hanging in my room was in there. Ant-Man was in there. Mission Impossible 2, The Grinch, the Jim Carrey one. There was two versions of BVS, 2 Logan ones. One's in my living room. It's the one with the hand holding X-23. That one's framed in my living room. Oh yeah, I got a lot of posters out of that.
See, we have a lot within the house because the studio reps will give us posters leading up to films, so I get them free. I can ask a studio rep, hey, can you get me this? So
is that how you got the Force Awakens one behind you?
Actually, this is from a custom shop called I want to say I'm gonna have to go into my email. It's box something. I know I could tell you that. But yeah, this is from a custom shop. I do have a Force Awakens official poster as well as the Last Jedi one and Solo one hanging in. All of them are in a different frame. But my prized possession poster-wise when it comes to Star Wars is the teaser poster for Attack of the Clones. As much as I hate that movie, I love that poster. You know that one where it's Padme and Anakin standing back to back? Yeah. That beautiful piece of art.
say whatever you want about the movie, and I do agree with you. It's probably the worst Star Wars movie. It's near the bottom, anyways. But a lot of the imagery in that movie is actually pretty beautiful imagery,
Yes.
despite all the CGI crap, which pisses me off.
You know what? You know what portion I love from the prequels? In episode 1 with
The
Anakin.
little baby Anakin one.
With the Vader, I've been hunting that one. Oh, as much I'll say this, as much as I don't care for the prequels, and people call me crazy when I go on and say the first one, episode 1, is the best prequel. The artwork that they did for it, the marketing and merchandising, superb. I can never take that away from it. Way more original. As much as I love the Disney stuff, it's way more original than any of the Disney posters.
So. Yeah, 100%. That's something you can never take away from Lucasfilm, is their ability to market, because a lot of the stuff they put out is great. But I got lucky. I actually managed to have one of my posters that I've always wanted hanging up. I actually have 27 by 40.
I don't know what that was. Oh, I know what that was now, because they ended a show I was watching, and I had it on pause, and it automatically goes to that next episode.
Oh, it's all good. No, I was gonna say I've actually got, like, for me, the be all end all movie poster I've always wanted, and it's the Titanic movie poster.
Oh,
I have that framed, like, full poster sheet from 1997 in my room, in my living room.
I had that one. I don't know what happened to it.
Yeah, that one cost me a little bit of a pretty penny. God bless eBay.
I mean, Bottleneck Gallery. That's where this is from. Bottleneck Gallery.
Okay, cool.
They do a lot of custom stuff. I have a 3 set of the original trilogy also, and they're in a tube right now, waiting for my girlfriend and I to get our own place so we can actually hang them up.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, that's one of my goals. If I ever get a bigger place, I do want to have more movie posters. Like in this room, I'm looking at a Batman Returns one.
Yeah. See, I will say this. I'm blessed that when I met my girlfriend, she was like an unmolded ball of clay. She had never seen the only geeky thing she had ever seen, because her parents only showed her like Disney Channel, and so she like watched Disney and then kept it in the Disney sphere of Disney movies, but never branched out into the sci-fi stuff. So the only geeky thing she had seen, but when we started dating, was Harry Potter.
Not so acceptable.
Now she's seen basically everything. She loves everything. She collects with me. She has her own mini collection. I have about 7 wands stacked over there.
Oh, okay.
Trust me. I got Dumbledore's from Fantastic Beasts 2, the Elder Wand, Newt's brother, Harry, Draco, Voldemort, Malfoy. I got 8 wands, excuse me. 8.
Wow. So it's pretty clear that you are a massive collector. What was the first piece you ever collected?
The first piece I ever collected, I actually had to sell it. The first 3 pieces, because they were all like bought around the same time. All of them are gone. One has been replaced. One is in the process of being replaced. I'm still trying to decide whether or not I'm going to go through with it. One was Luke Skywalker's lightsaber from A New Hope, the Hasbro signature series with the removable blade. I made a Star Wars fan film back in 2018.
Oh,
yeah, it released in 2018, so I filmed it 2017. And while we were filming a scene, because we were using I don't know, you'll see later, but I collect sabers, and so we were using sabers from my personal collection to make this, and those removable blades aren't as stable as some of the combat ready sabers. So we still have the outtake. It's actually on, if you watch the film and stay for the last couple minutes, take video, and you can see the outtake where the saber blade snaps. It hits the other blade. You see it bend and snap back into place, and it's like, wait. I remember watching that live. I'm like, what just happened? So it's weird, but it was that, and then I had two swords from Lord of the Rings. I had Aragorn's sword from Return of the King, the reforged one.
That's a pretty sword.
Yeah, and then I had Sting with the scabbard and the hanging display, and I had to unload those 2 first because I needed money to help fund the fan film. So I was like, what can I sell? and I still regret it to that day. And Sting is the one I'm actually looking into replacing right now. Unfortunately, I won't have the Lord of the Rings version. It'll most likely be the far less as good, I guess, version from The Hobbit. Yep, that it doesn't have the elfish engravings on it or any of that. You can go to noblecollection.com. You can see the difference between the two. My buddy is starting to get into collecting also. And I'm like, yeah, I'm about to get Sting, but of course I'm going to go with the one that's $170 cheaper.
Yeah, no kidding. I wonder why they didn't put the Elvish on. Like, that would only make, that's a continuity error.
Yeah, and I even noticed that when I first saw the Hobbit films. And with one of the newer pieces that I do have set aside, we'll talk about some stuff involving that. But yeah, as you can see, after those, I kind of switched to the Black Series because Star Wars was coming out, and then that kind of expanded into more lightsabers when I replaced certain ones, and then just other props because I've had wands and all that. And it's just the collection's grown. I mean, you can see right here, I got a couple helmets. Here's Thor's hammer. I know you were wondering what that sound was before we started. So,
no fucking way!
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, so there's that.
Is that the scale?
Yeah, that's scale. It is 2 scale. Wow. It's probably weighs about at least more than 10 pounds. It's heavy, and you can feel the weight.
Yeah.
What they do that's really cool is you can't really see it here, but this is like a more transparent. So I would turn it on, but it would probably destroy the microphone sound. So I'm not going to do that. You heard it before we were filming when I was moving stuff over.
If I were to mute you, you could.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna mute myself. That's a good idea.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, that's cool. Oh, damn.
And I know I'm going to have to mute myself in a minute when that starts to do its power down sound. But yeah, that's one of... this sound, all right, and it's going to do a little bing in a moment, but I'm cool with that.
That's pretty cool.
And then here's actually the latest lightsaber I got, which is the Rey Episode 9 saber. I still have to buy the I gotta buy the stuff I want to do for the wrap.
Oh yeah.
But
so
yeah. But my latest piece, and this is where it comes into continuity, is this. This isn't even Cap shield. This is the shield from Falcon and Winter Soldier and the end of Endgame. What people don't realize is and this is something I think is going to play a factor into the show, the star and the line. So I have both Cap. I have Cap shield and the one from the end of Endgame and Falcon and Winter Soldier. So the star for Cap shield doesn't have these designs in it. It is just a plain star. It just has a couple circles right at the top. And it doesn't have this line in the middle of the silver circle and these little indents.
Well, he's not noticeable anyways.
Right. So if you're not a person who pays attention to those little minute details, you're just, he gave Cap shield. Yeah. No, I think we're going to find out that Steve had that specific shield, this specific shield
made for him,
made for Sam.
Which would make sense. I actually figured out how to make one of those a Cap shield on my own. I'm a shipper receiver, and so I work at a hardware store, so I get a lot of parts from wood stove companies and stuff. Yeah. And somebody had special ordered a patio heater, and it came assembled, and I pulled up this thing, and it was exactly like that. It just I have to paint and stuff, but it's the right size, right dimension. The angle of the cave is the right angle. It's just like, holy shit! So I'm thinking maybe $175 I can build my own.
Right. No, it's stuff like this. It helps bring out that stuff that you love, and a good way to just express yourself. And the way I express myself, especially with all the props I have, is cosplay.
Yeah.
So, I cosplay. I forgot to send you pictures because I meant to do that. So that's on me.
No
But
worries.
I've been cosplaying for the last 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
And I've done primarily Star Wars. I have 3 builds in the works. I have Thor from Endgame, Thor from Endgame because I'm doing the fat Thor.
Hey man, I can pull that one off myself.
Yep. So can I. I have Falcon because now that I have both shields, my buddy and I plan on doing a Steve and Sam as Captain America.
That's gonna be a
Yeah.
I wonder if the Sam one, how tough that's gonna be because of all the little parts he has. It seems.
Yeah, no, I have the entire first run of his original run as Captain America, Sam's.
Oh damn!
That
So
is
you're gonna pull a comic book then.
I'm trying to find. So I've been looking at what his suit for Falcon is for this upcoming show, and I'm trying to find a way to incorporate that with the comic design and what we see from Steve. So that's really what the challenge is right now, and then I've been building custom Mandalorian. Right now because I live in Ohio and the weather's not the best. It's been more about acquiring the armor pieces and other aspects of it, but I'm you can see where everything's starting to take shape, and it's like, all right, I'm going to do this color, paint this way, paint this that way. So it's all that's coming together, and it's just different ways that you're able to express yourself, what you love, what you care about, and yeah, it's great.
Is there a cosplay outfit for you that's like, as I like to call it, the Great White Buffalo? Like one that you want to do, but at the moment it's not quite attainable?
Actually, that was my Mando for the longest.
Yeah.
And now that's reality. Realistically, I have to drop all the weight I've talked about dropping, but right now I'd probably say this Robert Pattinson Batman because that suit is just fucking stellar. Sorry, can I curse on this?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, cool. But yeah, let me see. I actually found a couple pictures.
Oh, nice. Yeah, if you just want to put them on the share screen, I can pop them up.
That's what I'm about to do. This is actually my buddy from Vegas and I grow my hair out, especially in the winter, and I shaved my beard and everything to match Donald Glover's spot.
That's awesome.
For Star Wars Celebration. And for people who know me, I'm actually fairly attached to my beard, so that kind of it's hurt to do. But
dude, I wish I could grow a beard. Hey, look at those guys.
And Mark Riley. But then Finn.
Oh, no fucking way.
Nice.
How cool was that?
Yeah. So that's actually the last time I cosplayed was that.
I gotta ask, how cool was it to meet Hayden?
It was cool. It lasted for like less than a minute though, so I can't really say. But actually that wasn't the last time I cosplayed. I because everyone has those cosplays where it's one of those, oh, I can just put together the fun with it.
Yeah.
So we gotten press for our channel before world happened in Cleveland. Like literally 7 days before everything shut down for COVID, we had a convention. But it was still nice to have and nice to do. It was also the weekend of my grandmother's 75th birthday, so my cousin flew in with my god, and kids are free with an adult with a ticket. So I took my godson on the last day. He wanted me to dress all black suit. Behind these figures, actually, there's a Marvel jewelry set, and inside of that, I'm not going to pull that out or open it, is just different like prop replicas of jewelry throughout the series, and part of that is the Okoyo beads and the Panther Claw necklace.
Oh, nice.
So I did an all black suit, black shirt, put on the necklace and the beads, and called it a day.
So this is the only attempt at cosplay I've ever done, and just happen to have most of this sitting around my house. The only thing I had to buy was the wig and the hat and the mask.
Right.
Yeah.
What
and
are you talking to me?
WWF Hall of Famer Mankind.
Okay.
Chris would say, he'd pop when he saw that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, I learned all about that the other night because I was on Wrestle Reel.
Yes.
Yeah, which was
But,
a lot of fun. We went over 2 hours.
yeah, Chris was telling me about that. It's I'll say this. I love the people I work with. My co-founder Nick, who is Chris's co-host on Wrestle Reel.
Oh, I didn't realize he was the co-founder.
Yeah, I'm the one who takes Nick. So Nick is a filmmaker. So I'm more of a writer and in multiple regards. I like writing scripts. I like writing news articles. I like this.
Yeah,
I'm more the news guy. He likes to do film and all that. So I take more of a lead on everything. He's the co-founder. And it just started as the two of us because we always talk movies and we loved Collide Cast Movie Talk. And then COVID hit. Well, correction. It was going strong. Nick got hired onto a movie that was shooting here in the area we live in.
Oh, so he lives in Ohio, same as you.
Nick, okay. Nick literally lives 7 minutes away.
Because I only met him for the first time the other night.
So he got hired on and had to keep his schedule available. So our last thing we did together, really, up until the release of Rise of Skywalker, was Joker. We did a Joker review. He got hired on. That was the last screening we really did. Then it was just me doing reviews for a few months. Rise of Skywalker, fun story about that. I had to see Rise of Skywalker, which I loved. I know that's a hot take for a lot of people.
I'm in the north part of not quite love.
I kind of love it because I have like a majority of the canon books here. I devour this crap.
Okay.
So there's from being a reader of stuff, I was just like, oh yes. But anyways, I had to go see Cats literally an hour after that. Yeah, the downside of being a critic, you gotta see everything.
Yeah.
So,
I'm glad you in that movie.
You liked Cats?
No, I didn't have bad with it.
As a musician, I've had to play the music. I do not like the music, so
I hate Cats. I was in show choir in high school. I hate Cats. You know. Oh, it has one good song and it's overplayed, and that's
Memories. What I didn't know is based on a T.S. Eliot book, but that's besides the point.
Yeah. It's bad. The whole show is here. I'm this person. Here I'm this person. Here I'm this person. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. The only reason it became popular is because of the costumes. That's it.
Yeah. The costumes and memory. But yeah, it's just but then we started once again, things slowed down because we didn't know what direction we wanted to take it.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to change it up because it was just like part of the reason why we're called Who Are They is because we like shining a light on independent stuff. That's why I love doing the Schmodown show, because while the Schmodown is bigger, for the most part, up until this last year, it was highly independent.
Yeah.
But we like shining a light on the independent filmmakers in our area because we have a large indie community where we're from. So we're like, how can we get back to that and still do the movie stuff and this, that, and the other? COVID hit. And right before COVID hit, John Roca mentioned something about StreamYard.
Yeah.
So that's when I started looking into it. We got StreamYard. Chris, someone I met at Star Wars Celebration at the Chicago event for Schmodown, we had talked on for the last year. I'm like, hey, you want to do this? Brought my guys Connor and Taylor on, and it's just grown from there. And it's, in our eyes, sure, we only have like 100 or so subscribers, but that's from beginning. We'll just call it beginning of April. We had 4. We're now at like 112. So that's
you're in the same boat as you over at Schmoes of the North, because we started Actually, our first show was February, so we're 2 months older than you. But yeah, we're just
You're
like
still older than us because Chris and I didn't start going live and continuously until July. We did like 3 episodes before that.
honestly, the episode with the Rager was only the second live episode we've ever done over there because I don't know why, but the guys were afraid to go live until we did the Rager episode and we saw everything, like the interaction with everybody and stuff. And we're gonna actually do that more often now.
Yeah, I think. And I think that's what changed it for us because you had this live aspect, and you can get these people to come on in, and the audience interaction. The audience can help drive the conversation, take it to places you didn't think it would go, take you on tangents, which sometimes tangents are a good thing. And that's why I love the live aspect. That's why Chris and I hate when we have to record spin from the real pre-recorded. But it happens from time to time. Like this past holiday season, almost all of our shows that from like the week of Christmas on were pre-recorded, almost all of them. I think Spin from the Reel was the only one that went live. But yeah, it's my guys, my crew over there at Who Are They Real Entertainment. They're my rock. Chris just actually came to town this past weekend or for the New Year's. So I'm the only person besides my girlfriend who had ever met Chris before this weekend.
Oh, wow.
So it was his first time meeting Nick in person. It was his first time meeting Taylor in person, Connor in person. And it's just insane how well sometimes you hit it off with guys and you don't know how important those relationships are going to be for you.
Yeah. You know what? I feel the exact same way. Like, I mean, I'm everybody that I do something with, Ben, Soul, 50 is going to be the hardest one because he's in fucking Israel. But I mean, even the Schmoes guys, like we're in the same boat. None of us have ever met face to face before. So hopefully when COVID's over, we'll be able to meet.
You know what I'm hoping for? When COVID's over, Christian just says to all the live shows, hey, you have an open invitation to one taping. Come on down. Just here are all the taping days we're going to do. Just tell us when you want to come.
I'll sell my left black market just to make it because I'm looking at like $1,000 one way from where I live.
Yeah,
yeah. I got to go from small airport to Vancouver, and then with the international stuff, yeah.
I'm probably looking at like 500.
Actually, you know what's funny? If I were to book it at the same time to go see Dave and Louie in them over in Eastern Canada, it would be the same price if I booked it in the busy season as it would to fly to Los Angeles from where I live. It's crazy how it is up here.
I couldn't deal with that, man.
Yeah. So I'm lucky. Like when I lived for 6 years in Vancouver, I was lucky when one of my oldest and bestest friends, like her daughters and my nieces, like that's how close we are. She worked out of the airline up here, so I got to come up for free. So it was pretty nice. Otherwise, I'd be shelling out like $600 every time for a 2-hour flight. Yeah.
See, I laughed because Chris, he didn't realize how quick of a flight it was from. Because he lives in Oklahoma, and I think he's made that known.
Yeah, he's mentioned it. Yeah.
So he had a layover in Chicago, and he didn't realize how quick of a flight it was from Chicago to where I live in Ohio. Yeah. And he's just like, it was less than an hour. I'm like, I know, I've made that flight plenty of times.
That's wow. It's always good when you live really close to a big place like that. Yeah. So I was gonna say, so like back to the collecting and all that stuff. Is there anything else you collect that's not movie memorabilia? Like for me, I don't collect much, but I do have statues. Like this is a 1/16 or whatever of Stephen Amell from Arrow.
Yeah,
that I bought when I bought my apartment. I have a couple of the figures behind me. Other than that, I don't collect much from movies. My big collection is I have probably about 50 hockey jerseys at this point. That's my collection.
I could say Star Wars shirts because I have over 40. But like you said, non-movies. So I used to, back in high school, collect Cleveland Cavaliers jerseys. My dad covered them for a time. So I had.
Or are you in Cleveland?
I am still in Cleveland, and I'm from Cleveland. At one time, I had about 12 jerseys.
Oh yeah,
and for people who don't know, I mean, jerseys get expensive.
No shit. The most expensive one I bought was an inaugural season Nashville Predators one from '98. It cost me $400 because it's an actual authentic one with a fight strap and everything like that. And that's without a name. If I had a name on it, I'd probably be looking at $550 at least.
Do you wear that? Like, you have them put that on?
Yeah,
I don't wear are the white ones I own because
white
stain.
stains easily.
I wish I
And,
didn't have any white jerseys.
so I have, it slowed down as I got older.
Yeah.
Because I started collecting all this shit. But it kind of slowed down around the time it would be really cool to have a ton of them, because it slowed as this picked up and the jersey slowed down. The Cavaliers were making finals runs all the time.
Yeah.
So the only I have three jerseys from that. I have to correct myself again. I have 4 jerseys from the final runs. I don't remember if you remember those yellow jerseys that just say Cavs in red.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have a question for you about jerseys after that, because you might be able to explain it to me.
So I have a yellow LeBron. I have a Christmas jersey for Kyrie Irving. I have the black sleeved jerseys that they won the championship in, and I have a blue Kevin Love jersey. So,
nice. I've got. So I don't know how familiar you are with hockey.
Not at all.
Okay, so I have jerseys for every franchise that has entered the NHL since 1982, except the Minnesota Wild. So I've got jerseys for every single team. And the
Blue Jackets.
Yeah, I have a Blue Jackets jersey. Yeah,
I went to a game when I was younger. We have the official Blue Jackets AHL team in Cleveland.
Oh god, what's
Lake Erie Monsters?
Yeah, Lake Erie Monsters. I was like, it's something to do with a monster. No, I've got what at this point. This is my latest one. My mom got me this for Christmas, a Bo Horvat Canucks jersey, because I didn't have a newer one. I've got 5 Canucks jerseys, 2 Calgary Flames, 2 Edmonton Oilers, both old version and new version Winnipeg Jets. I've got Toronto, 2 Ottawa Senators. I've got Montreal Canadiens. I've got New York Rangers, 3 Buffalo Sabres, 1 New York Islanders, 2 Pittsburgh Penguins, 1 Philadelphia, 1 Tampa Bay, which was my white whale for the long ass time, 2004 Cup final, 1 Florida. I've got Nashville. I've got Atlanta Thrashers, who became the Winnipeg Jets. I have Dallas Stars. I have 2 LA Kings, 2 Anaheim Ducks, 1 San Jose. I've got Arizona. I've got Vegas. Yeah, I've got almost every franchise but the Minnesota Wild. That's the only one I'm missing. I even have Hartford Whalers and Minnesota North Stars.
Jeez.
Wow.
Yeah. I used to.
Yeah.
That's. I had to slow.
Put me to shame.
Well, how that happened was my uncle Dan, who he started me on that path, because starting in 2000, he started getting jerseys for every Cup winner. And then when I saw that, I was like, I want to get it on my own. And I did that with my Chicago Blackhawks jersey with my name on it. And when I bought it, I'm like, oh, this just looks so dumb. So I just said, fuck it, I'm just going after teams now.
Right. No, I get that. For a while there, I wanted to get on the custom jersey train, but I'm like, you look at those prices, you're like, oh, for like, I can just get a player I want, I'm just gonna do that.
Yeah, pretty much. You look at it, it's like, okay, when's the next sale coming on?
Yeah, no,
because like normally this is like a 250 plus tax jersey Canadian, and with a special, my mom and getting it with shipping and everything for like $180.
Wow.
So the Cleveland Browns, who unfortunately are COVID stricken right now, they they got new jerseys. It's new technically. It's their old jerseys with a couple minor tweaks.
Oh yeah.
And I was supposed to get a Myles Garrett of that. We ordered it. It kept getting delayed, and then got canceled.
Yeah.
So I just said, screw it, and that money went towards my new Xbox.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm going to wait for those until there's actually a game I want. No, I was going to say the Dallas Stars announced today that 6 of their players and coaching staff got tested with COVID, so they had shut down training camp, and they're going to have to reschedule their first 3 games.
So are you familiar with American football? I just got to ask.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm familiar enough with football.
Are you familiar with the infamy of the Cleveland Browns?
Oh, yeah. For sure. They've been one of the worst teams of all time.
No. We're one of the worst teams in the last 20 years, not of all time.
Fair enough.
Because
that's where my memory of them comes from, is the last 20 years.
People want to, and I'm a Clevelander, and people want to be like, oh, you guys suck. It's like, just you don't have a Super Bowl. We have 6 NFL titles before it became the Super Bowl.
I didn't realize the Browns have been around that long.
Yeah, we were one of the original NFL teams.
Okay.
We would have a Super Bowl if Art Modell, that fucking shithead.
I know that name.
Yes. If he hadn't. So, fun fact for movie lovers: Jim Brown was acting and playing football at the same time. And there was one training camp where he's like, "Hey, I know I'm the best player," rightfully so. He's like, "We're a little bit behind in this movie. Can I show up to training camp late?" And Art Modell said, "No, if you want to show up late, we're going to fine you and penalize you until you're actually here." So he's like, "Okay," called a press conference the next day and announced he was retiring from football.
Oh, good on him.
So, and he was still in his prime, mind you.
I'm looking at 1965. Yeah, he was just into his career. Yeah.
Yeah. And we were only a few years separated from that championship we won.
How long did Modell last after that?
Long, because he moved the team in the 90s. So,
I didn't realize he's the one that moved into Baltimore.
Yes, he moved the team. Okay. So it's just one of those things. So Browns fans hate Art Modell for a number of reasons.
Now I get it.
One, moving the team. Two, for being the jackass who caused Jim Brown to retire and not get us a Super Bowl. Because if I remember correctly, the Super Bowl started taking place in the early 70s.
Super Bowl. I don't know why, but I'm thinking 60s off the top of my right now.
It's early 70s, late 60s, if I remember correctly.
They don't even give me the first one. Hold on. 67.
Yeah. 2 years later. 2 years later, we could have won the first freaking Super Bowl. So we wouldn't have to hear, "Oh, the Browns never won a Super Bowl." No, it's on Art Modell, and of course we're back on track. We got a great coach. He gets hit with COVID. Half of our defense is already suspect, gets hit with COVID, and it's just like, this is great. The first time we're in the playoffs in 18 years, and we get hit with COVID.
Yeah, like as a Canucks fan, I do have similar memories of when they went to the finals in 2011, and what happened there is the team got into the finals like pretty banged up, but then they ran into a team that literally beat the shit out of them to the point where there's a lot of calls that should have been called, like somebody's back got broke. Oh yeah, like he got put. They were skating in towards the corners in the offensive zone, and Mason Raymond, the Canucks player, got pushed as he was skating backwards, and he hit the board so hard it broke his tailbone.
Ow!
Yeah, and this wasn't like right up close. This was probably 4 or 5 feet away from the boards, which should be a major boarding penalty. Now the kicker is the guy who at the time was head of discipline in the NHL. His son played for the team.
Oh,
yeah.
So nothing happened.
Yeah, nothing happened. And the worst one of the ones that pisses me off is Brad Marchand grabbed Henrik Sedin by the collar and he kept punching him in the face with it and didn't even get a penalty for it. No unsportsmanlike, nothing. And I will say this to the day I die: if both teams had entered fair square, 100% healthy, Canucks would have beat them in 6.
Wow.
Okay.
And of course, we had the riot right afterwards, the Vancouver riot.
Okay, so here I want to break this down for you. All the negative sports things that have happened in Cleveland.
Are you going to include the Cleveland Barons in there?
I guess I don't know much about them, so I can't.
The Barons are.
I know they were a hockey team at one point. They were NHL. Were they NHL?
They were NHL. I can't remember who they started off with someone different. They moved to Cleveland, then they moved to Colorado, became the Rockies, and now they're the New Jersey Devils.
Yeah. So the Cleveland sports curse. Let's see. We had the drive in 1987.
Okay.
The Browns were one game away from playing in the franchise's first Super Bowl when they fell short in one of the most memorable games in NFL history. The Browns were leading the Broncos 20-13 in the fourth quarter when Broncos quarterback John Elway led a 98-yard game-tying drive in just over 5 minutes. The game went into overtime. The Broncos kicked the field goal and sealed the victory. That's event number 1.
This was Broncos' first Super Bowl appearance, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. I know a little bit about football.
In 1980-1990 season, the Browns returned to the AFC Championship game, again losing to the Broncos.
Huh.
And if I can't remember if that was the fumble or whatnot. Yeah. Oh, here. Yep, both teams. That's the fumble. That is the fumble.
So
So
explain
here,
it
the
to
fumble is Browns running back Ernest Biner with the ball near the goal line towards the end of the game. He was stripped of the ball, and the Broncos recovered on their 2-yard line. The
Oh, wow.
Broncos surrendered an intentional safety and went on to win the game 38-33, while Biner's blunder became known as the fumble.
Oh my God.
What year is that?
That was 1988 to 1989.
Wow. So their bad luck goes back a long ways.
And then there's the 95 relocation controversy. The
See,
move.
most of my stuff about the Cleveland Browns I know from the Drew Carey show. As sad as that sounds.
Drew would be the guy to tell you about that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I love that show.
And keep in mind, do you know who the Browns who the Browns head coach was before they moved to Baltimore?
No.
Bill Belichick.
Fuck off, really?
Yes. We gave him his first head coaching job.
Ugh.
And then they decided to move the team. They fired Bill and started fresh in Baltimore.
What could have been?
And then a year after moving, if I remember correctly, the Ravens won the Super Bowl. Oh, no, 5 years after leaving Cleveland, the Ravens won their first Super Bowl.
I do remember hearing that and hearing the uproar about that.
Yeah.
That's what I can equate to in hockey is the Quebec Nordiques left Quebec in '95 and literally the next season won the Stanley Cup.
Where did they go?
The Colorado Avalanche now. But literally the next season, same team, pretty much, same coach, everything. The only thing they upgraded was their goalie and maybe a forward, and they won the cup.
Yeah. We had in Cleveland 28 different starting quarterbacks between 1999 and the end of the 2017 season.
Holy shit. What is it, like cursed?
That's the long running joke. That's why everybody's so happy that Baker Mayfield's finally actually looking like a franchise quarterback.
Good.
And then you have the injuries, which is equated to the 2015 NBA Finals, NBA playoffs, where we lost Kevin Love in I think it was the conference finals, where Kelly Olynyk pulled his shoulder out of his socket. I don't know if you've seen that clip.
No, I've never heard of it. Pretty rough.
Yeah. And then in the first game of the NBA Finals, Kyrie Irving had his kneecap broken.
That one I remember. But what was the player with the separated shoulder?
Kevin Love.
Oh, Kevin Love. Okay.
Kevin Love. Look up Kevin Love, Kelly Olynyk. I'm sorry, but he's got to be one of the dirtiest Canadians I've ever met because Kelly Olynyk is Canadian. Sorry, Soda.
Hey, no, you know what? No worries. A lot of dirty hockey players are Canadian. Chris Paul is probably the worst. And he's a Hall of Famer.
Wow.
Well, Chris Pronger has been known to step on the back of people's calves with his fucking skates.
Yeah. The Indians, we had Game 7 of the 19 World Series, and we also had. Oh, you're pulling that clip up? Yep. Hit
clip.
Play.
Oh my God.
And see, I knew it was coming, and you could just see something's off.
Yeah, well, no shit. That's like fucking MMA.
He literally just ran into the locker room, and then you see a little bit right there, and they're gonna do the close. If I remember correctly, there's a close-up shot in this clip, and you're gonna see it, and it's just fucking insane. It was an armbar basically, and boom.
Yeah, what's funny is that actually the way it doesn't look that bad
At first, and then when you see him at that locker room entrance, oh, there's the better shot. Here's what I was talking about.
Oh,
and you see,
I gotta rewind that because I missed it.
But you see at the end of it how the shoulder's like so much lower.
Oh yeah, okay, now I see it. Gotcha. Momentum down on it. And,
yeah.
That's
yeah. So, but we keep in mind we went to the final. We lost Kyrie Irving in Game 1 of the final when he broke his kneecap. And we lost in 6 games against the Golden State Warriors, which began the whole Golden State dynasty BS.
Yeah.
And then the next year, we won against the Golden State Warriors with basically the exact same team. So
those were good finals.
Yes, but a lot of people in Cleveland will go, and me included, will have no issue admitting that, hey, we probably would have gone 2-2 against the Golden State loving Kyrie Irving hadn't gotten injured.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm with you on the same boat there. This is the Mason Raymond clip I was telling you about earlier where he broke his tailbone. Fuck, I'm still pissed that actually I'm gonna bring it up with the sound.
Oh God.
Well, no, you can't hear it, but I mean just to get a context of what's going on, right?
Jammed on by Bergeron, but read by Ehrhoff and thrown well wide off the stick.
Right there. Hey, that's how innocuous it was. But he pretty much rode him butt first into the boards, and here you go. Just kept riding him right into the boards.
Ooh, all right, so Cleveland get
nothing. Puck was nowhere near it. Clear interference. That's a penalty in most cases.
So here, I'm actually going to bring up an injury that happened in Cleveland, but not to a Cavs player.
Yeah.
This was the opening night of the 2007 or 2017 NBA season, the season where we had just traded Kyrie Irving to this Boston Celtics. It was his first game in Cleveland, and he had just teamed up with Gordon Hayward. So I have this shared. Go ahead and pull this up.
Yeah, right there. I'm going to have to expand that so I can see.
All right.
Oh, broken legs are the worst.
In Cavs history. They're going up. Oh, my goodness. Hayward came down.
I remember that.
Hayward has broken his leg.
I remember that.
Me too.
That reminds me of Psycho Sid fracturing his leg in half trying to do a move off the top rope. It's one of the
Oh, my.
I just remember how I did respect them because they didn't go in and show the replay. You see as I'm scrubbing through this, they don't show this replay. Or they don't show a close-up of it.
This is unbelievable. Oh, my gosh.
Well, all you got to do is look at the leg after the fact. You know just how bad it is.
Well, and you can see it was just his ankle, realistically. Yeah. But when he first comes down, it looks so much
Hayward
worse.
broke his leg. He hit the biggest shot in Cavs history. They're going up. Oh, Hayward came down so.
I know we're talking about sports injuries now. Have you ever seen the Sean Livingston sports injury?
No. You ever heard of Clint Malarchuk?
No.
Look at this one. I'll bring this one up first because this be glad you don't the sports you guys like don't deal with sharp objects. You have to look real carefully at this because this is from the 80s.
Intercepted by Bodger. There's a long shot. Reno makes the save. A loose puck in front. Benoit Hope jumped to the rebound, but it's stopped by the left pad. Here's Bodger sending it back in front now.
Why do I feel like we've seen this movie?
Now we come to Bywater. Gets it back over the line. Here's the pass. On into the Buffalo zone. Mahar goes to the corner of the pass. And oh, wow. Now watch Malarchuk. That's the story right there.
He got his carotid artery cut.
Yeah. I remember watching that from shop class, actually. Because we had a substitute, and it was this video of crazy sports moments. And one was like Randy Johnson hitting the bird mid-pitch.
It's funny. A similar incident happened about 15 years ago, but that one you can actually see the blade hit the guy. But luckily, he could have died if the attendants were right on him right away. It's.
Hold up, wait for this ad to pop.
I'm Jake from State Farm.
Is this a commercial?
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
This is the famous
Sean turn it over.
Injury.
After that quick 4-0 start, not much has gone right for Coach Dunleavy's ball club. Bernie Bickerstaff at the other end.
Livingston was one of was a rookie this year. He was highly touted, supposed to be this up-and-coming star. He was a 6'7" point guard.
They got 5 more coming: Sacramento, Portland, Seattle, Utah.
And it's right here.
Livingston after good defense by Mobley.
Oh yeah! Oh, ow!
Left knee, Livingston.
You just saw his knee basically slap him in the side of the head, right?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, so here's one that happened actually a couple months ago. This is a wrestling one. You there's a chance you might have seen it, Matt.
Is it the guy who jumped
in the ring?
Yep.
Have you seen this, Ben?
No, I want to see this.
Yes, you want to see it. It's because it's a little bit funny. It's a little messed up, but it's a little bit funny.
Fucking load.
With indie wrestling, yeah. Where's that share screen at?
Yeah. So just watch the guy after he climbs on the top rope. I'm going to fast forward just a little bit till he's on the top rope because.
Introducing first.
Yep, there we go. We're getting right to it.
So this gentleman in all black.
And this is why Soda decided he will not do independent wrestling.
Yep. You're not wrong.
Oh,
Grasshopper. Yeah. Broke both his legs. He's had to get like rods in both his legs. Oh yeah, it's fucking crazy.
I'm sorry, as a heavy dude, I will admit we should not jump from places that high.
No. The worst one I've seen, it's actually like visually it's not as bad, but I have seen wrestling footage of a gentleman dying in the ring.
Yeah.
Because he got kicked in the wrong spot and he went into spinal shock and died.
Oh.
Lucha Libre, Mexican wrestling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of course it would be in Lucha Libre.
You look at it and it doesn't look like what we were just watching. But then as you keep paying attention, like, oh shit, something's wrong. He died right in the ring. Rey Mysterio was his tag partner that night.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, I know you're talking about wrestling, but you don't know it's just like wrestling that we both love.
Yeah.
The Schmodown.
Of course. Yeah. Let's talk a little bit of Schmodown.
absolutely.
And I know you had Rager on Schmoes of the North.
Yes.
And I know we've talked about you coming into the family where Rager came from.
Damn right.
Excited because, I mean, part of the reason there hasn't been much movement on that is because all this stuff's with Rager started happening. So you now kind of got to retool and rework stuff because it changes storylines and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy he made it.
I can tell.
Yeah. I know I am happy that he made it, but it's made our life over at Who Are They Real Entertainment interesting because originally because Christian's like, oh yeah, you have until you're officially drafted to finish up stuff in the fan leagues, and so it's like, all right, cool. We had this what was going to be our first tag team match, and it was going to be Kids at Heart versus versus Nasty World. Who Kids at Heart are Nick and Chris, the Kids at Heart from Russell Reels, and Nasty World was the Rager and the Seaman Demon. Yes, that is his name, the Seaman Demon. And
I'm assuming a heel.
Oh, he's just funny. Yeah, he's a heel. And when we're off, I'll show you the clip that we've recorded in its place. But we were supposed to do that match, and then Christian brought up to Christian, he's like, "Hey, is it cool that we dropped this before?" Christian's like, "Yeah, it's fine, but you got to realize that's going to be tape people have on you, and if you end up losing in that match, I'm not going to divulge the results of that match."
I know where you're going. If you lose, it's gonna look bad.
It's gonna look bad and possibly hurt your draft stock. If you win, good on you. But are people going to wonder if it was staged because they knew you were going into this showdown? So it's like,
it's a good point.
Okay. So we decided to can it. We recorded the scene in its place. But it's weird because we don't get to give him this proper send-off that we wanted to give him. And it sucks. The reason we recorded this scene is because now it helps push other storylines forward. Because I know the Rager was like because I'm the champion in the league currently. That was my biggest, that was my biggest arch rival. So that was like, I'm losing my arch rival. We were both heels, but how is that going to affect me going forward? Because you know me, I'm the big Schmodown fan. I put in my own audition. I had yet to hear if I made it or not. We got part of the list. We're supposed to get a few more in the days leading up to the draft, but at the same time, at this point in my head, it's like if you haven't heard anything, you're not going to be in it. Like that's just my view on it. So, especially if you sent it in way earlier. Like I sent mine in a couple days after Christmas. Or no, as a few days before Christmas. Mine's been in for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So it's at that point where, okay, cool, I've put it in, haven't heard anything. I've relegated the fact I'm probably not in. So now I have to take this information that we have and figure out how my character, the one who had made it known that he was trying to get into the movie Trivia Schmodown, is going to take the fact that the person that he's played numerous times and was his rival made it and he didn't. And that's going to play into my character. Chris, he's going to have this thing of that he's been wanting fresh blood, and it's like the Rager was the one person that Chris wanted to play.
Yeah.
And he's never going to get that match. So, fun fact, if the Rager is drafted, he has to sign over the rights to that name and everything.
Yeah. I've heard about a lot of stuff like that. That's why like names have changed and stuff already for competitors.
Yeah.
Like example, Roxy. I heard that's the reason why it was changed from the Rockstars.
Because the Rockstars is associated with her LLC, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Something, and they needed to change it, and then they were going to do Stars with the Z, but because of the movie channel, they had to do Stars with an S. Which, by the way, that new logo is dope. Although I'm going to miss that Rockstars logo.
Yeah, like out of the two that Christian showed us, you like the one with the darker rating or the lighter rating? Because I'm partial to the darker one because I think it pops out more.
I liked the darker one, thinking it popped, but then I also had to think from a T-shirt standpoint.
Oh yeah,
like from a T-shirt, that darkness isn't gonna pop like because if somebody, a lot of people like wearing darker black T-shirts.
It hides the fact that I'm 300 pounds.
Hey, we're in the same boat.
Yeah, like this jersey's a 3X. Thank God.
This shirt's a 3X.
Nice.
But yeah, with that in mind, it's like, all right, well, you're gonna want that lighter symbol. So I voted when he put that out there. I voted on 2 for that reason. It's weird because you do this stuff and you never think that the Schmodown will have an impact on it.
Mm-hmm.
But now it is unintentionally, not the impact that you want. Like, I shouldn't say not the impact that you want, because you want it to have that impact. You want people from these fan leagues to keep making it up in there. And it's weird in that regard because now the storylines we were coming up with, we now have to scrap and redo. And as a writer, I love it and hate it because I know Christian talks about all the time the Dan Murrell losing to Andrew Guy. He just saw everything he had planned burning in front of his eyes. And as soon as I talked to Christian and he told me, he's like, yeah, I'm putting your buddy the Rager in the draft. I was like, no, it was awesome. And then when I get off the calls, that's when it hit. And I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
And I see all the stuff we have planned just slipping away. And it's like,
yeah.
But at the same time, we can, especially if he does well, we can now, that's big for us. We can say we're the fan league that the Rager came from.
Yeah.
What we want to be known for, like the Seaman Demons had like 3 personality changes. We like the character side of things.
Yeah.
We want to be able to help to develop people's character because that's what we did with the Rager. Once he debuts, all of his stuff is going to get unlocked again. But for the time being, like, we've put all the Rager matches on lockdown because we don't want anyone to have film on them.
That would explain a few things. You were
yes.
talking to one of my friends, Daniel. He's like, I can't find any shit on him.
And no, Daniel had to message me. I'm like, look, Dan, I'm like, yeah, I'm the source in South America.
That's what he told me after the fact.
But yeah, we put it all on lockdown, and Taylor didn't want the Ragent. Taylor, the agent of the Rager, did not want to. He's like, because Taylor, he's the host of Really Scared, and he's a face on the channel. He's like, having that stuff is good for the channel. I'm like, yes, it's good for the channel, but it'll still be there when the Rager debuts.
Mm-hmm.
Because when the Rager debuts, it might not get unlocked till a second match, but the idea is people don't have film to prep for the Rager now.
Oh, that's actually fucking smart.
So, like, Rager and Taylor hate me for this, but I've been like a defect because of all the sports I pay attention to and watch. Mm-hmm. And my dad being in the sports media and seeing how the behind the scenes work at times. Like, this jersey is from the guy I consider the closest thing I had to an older brother. He plays basketball overseas. I see the agent side of things, and I'm like, look, we're putting this on lockdown. It's not coming off until then. And if you've made a name for yourself and people want to go back to find your own old stuff after the fact because they're jonesing to see more Rager, then they'll be able to find it.
That's fucking smart, to be honest. And one of the things, like hearing you talk about how you like to present your league and stuff, to what I understand, I think you're the only league out there that focuses on the storyline side of shit more so than just the play.
Well, because like, and the reason why is because because you know Christian, he watches the fan leagues, he watches the reaction shows.
When he named us this week,
a few times this week. Yeah, and it's just one of those things of you want to be the person. Like if Christian Harloff gives you the seal of approval, that's big because you're going to start getting more eyes.
Yeah.
Do we want more eyes? Yes, but we also want more competitors.
Mm-hmm.
I realize, because Christian's been harping on it, he wants the people who can compete and still bring a character. And that's what was big with the Rager.
Because, he's a fucking character.
Yeah, he's a character, but I'll tell you this, he's going to shock a lot of people because he did as well as he did in our league without studying, and now he actually... So he's going to be even more dangerous.
Yeah, if the time comes when I compete, I'm going to do that in my first... I'm just going to say it out loud. I'm going to do that in my first match to see how far my knowledge can take me.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say this. When we first started, I didn't study.
Yeah. Because
being a critic, I knew, and being in the fandoms, when I put stuff on the wheel, I know where my strengths lie.
Mm.
So I'll when I see what's on my wheel, cool. I get an idea of how comfortable. I know, depending on who I'm playing, because we do the thing where if the higher ranked competitor decides whether or not they're putting spinners and opponents on the wheel. But what we do is the higher ranked competitor, if they decide not to put spinners and opponents on the wheel, each competitor gets to put a third slice of their choice.
Oh, I like that. That's actually pretty smart.
So, like, for example, this last match, I was going against someone who I was actually afraid I would lose the belt to.
Mm.
So I didn't want to risk spinners and opponents on the wheel. So I said, because I knew enough about him from watching him to say, okay, he might throw this and this on the wheel. Let's see what happens. And he threw the two things I expected him to throw on the wheel. And then he picked Kevin Smith, Spielberg, and I want to say Scorsese.
Woof.
Kevin Smith, I love his stuff, so I wasn't worried about that.
Yeah.
Spielberg, I love him, and I'm like, that can go either way. Cool. I can, if he misses on me, I can steal a few points. I put Star Wars, MCU, and Wizarding World.
Oh, okay. More than
because I see this, and I'm like, okay, let's stack the wheel a little in my favor. In that match, I think I landed on MCU. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm comfortable. No, it was, excuse me, MCU I didn't put on the wheel. Star Wars, DCEU, and Wizarding World. I first spin because I was up. We were tied. I'm like, I need to be the one to lay the first jab. I'm like, I'll defer because I normally go in with a larger lead.
Mm-hmm.
We were tied. I'm like, I gotta throw the first big punch. I'm going first. Land on MCU without a second thought. I'll take it.
No, that was perfectly timed.
that's my mother talking to my brother.
That's hilarious.
But I hit that. I'm like, I'm not going to take the chance. I'm just going to go with it and let's see how I do. Hit 3 out of 4. Cool.
Yeah.
He landed on animated, and he's like, I don't feel comfortable with animated. And I knew he wouldn't. And then he lands on Star Wars, one of my strengths. The wheel.
Yeah.
He's like, I should have stuck with animated. I stole 3 out of the 4 questions.
Nice.
So that thinking paid out for me. And and I do this because you watch the Schmodown, you watch how these people play, and you hear them talk strategy, whether it be SCN or the after shows or even backstage, and you get an idea of how to really play the game. And that's what I want this league to be. I want it to be that league where you get to focus on the gameplay, and I want it to be as more like, I know a lot of shows don't do this, but I want it to be as close to the Schmodown as possible, because in my eyes, you can make changes to the game, yes, but then you have to get readjusted to what this game is when you go to the next level. And I don't want that. I want to be able to have people prepped and ready to go.
You know what's funny is hearing you talk, like I can definitely see like a like-mindedness to Christian, but the thing that shocks me the most is that you're not a wrestling fan.
Mm-mm.
Which is just hearing you talk about all the character stuff is amazing. But I'm going to put this into wrestling terms because I'm sure you've heard Chris talk about this. What you're trying to cultivate is what Triple H is trying to do with NXT.
Yes, Chris has said that.
Yeah, a smaller thing, but it's done the same style. When you get to the big time, it's not as big of an adjustment.
Exactly. And that's my thinking when it comes to it. Because, yeah, I'm not a wrestling guy. And granted, there are plenty of times where it would be me, Taylor, and Chris talking and figuring out where to take a certain storyline. But like I said, I'm also a writer. I write scripts, so I have an idea of where I want to take the characters, but also, and this is something that I take from Christian. He's like, well, I like to give them a little bit of input, see where they're thinking. And it's like, well, I try to find the middle ground with them. So, like, the only person I gave free range was the Rager. Because
explains a few things.
You're one of the few people who have seen the audition tape. I see everyone's throwing their audition tapes in the trivia Schmodown page today. But I'm like, no. That audition tape is strictly for the after shows to see.
Yeah.
And the managers. That's my views on it.
Yeah, and even if you hadn't have shown me that, I probably would have felt the same way about him after talking to him because
I know. But you got to see some of the crazy stuff that he's done, and there's still a few clips that I actually forgot about and didn't include. And I want to show you those off camera because I want these people who are starting to really feel the Rager because there's starting to be this push of, man, I can't wait to see how he plays. Cool. That's what I want. And like I said, it's the love of the game. It's the love of what they do. And you want to be an extension of that. You want to be able to be like, well, sure, you didn't make it into the big league, but if you want a similar experience, here's this fan league that tries to run as close as possible with the same rules and try to work the same way. So if you do get called up, you're ready.
Yeah, it's pretty cool what you guys are doing over there. And speaking of moving on up, we've actually passed our hour mark.
Yes.
So, dude, where could everybody find you?
You can find me at What Movies Matt, as it says right here. You can also find me on Who Are They Real Entertainment on YouTube. That is Who Are They Real, spelled REEL, like a film reel. You can find us on Twitch, Who Are They Real Podcast, and Twitter, What Real Ent. So, yeah.
Right on. Yeah, definitely check out all their stuff. You can also check out these gentlemen on our episode of Schmoes of the North. When did we record that? About 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, it's roughly.
Yeah. I still say it's one of the best episodes we've ever done. But granted, I was incredibly high producing it. So I digress.
I was talking to the Rager after I felt I still feel this, and this isn't me kissing your ass. Because you saw he started off on our show, and then the next show he did was Call to Action. Then he went to your show. I felt, he did Call to, or this is pre-taped, I take it, or is it live and private right now?
Right now, yeah.
So,
it'll be up shortly.
Yeah. So tonight or yesterday, depending on when you're watching this or when I'm talking from, he was on the Ultimate Schmodown show.
Yeah.
Did a good interview, but he's getting more and more comfortable with each of these. So his last appearance is going to be next Friday on Let's Get Ready. But I still think, they're great. But I still think his best interview was with you guys on Schmoes from the North.
Thank you very much. That is actually something I've heard quite a bit. Not just necessarily about the ones I've been on, but just in general that a lot of people actually apparently like coming on our show, and that's validation for me at some point. It makes what we're doing worth it because they're having a good time, and that's my goal is to make sure everybody feels comfortable and is having a good time.
Yeah,
and with the Rager, I'm not going to go into a lot of kayfabe or whatever, but that's the thing I wanted to make sure I worked with him because he's originally supposed to go an hour, and he's like, "Can we do half?" Because I don't know if I can do the character the whole time. We ended up doing 40 minutes.
45,
yeah, 45. And it's just I just wanted, especially with him, because I knew he still knew this. I was like, I want to make him as comfortable as possible. So I did all my best to help him.
And the thing is, and he's even said that Schmoes of the North appearance has helped him get more comfortable because he's like, I only told him 30, but I still felt comfortable up until that 45. Like, if you look at our appearance with him, He's a little bit gassed towards the end of it, like with the character. He's starting to get more comfortable being in this character for longer periods of time.
Yeah, when we were talking after the fact, that's what he said. That the morning he woke up to do our interview, the morning after he did Call to Actions, he said he woke up and he had no voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's the one you were talking about, but yeah, no, he's the only thing with our interview that we told him ahead of time was there's always 2 questions we ask all our guests. That's it. Everything else was off the cuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. All right. So, Ben, where can everybody find you?
You can find me on my Schmodown show every Saturday. You can also find me every Mountain Schmodown. Oh, I forgot that part.
It's been a long
I think,
day,
I think we're gonna. Yeah. I think we're on that January 30th is what it's looking.
Okay, sounds good. That's going to be fun. You can also find me every Tuesday here on Shooting the Brief and Matt. Every Friday on my Hot Takes, Ben's Hot Takes. Every Saturday on Recapping the Past. I think I got everything.
Yeah, that's okay.
And every Sunday, Get Ready with Matt, Soul, and 50 Shades of Geek.
Damn right. And every place that Ben just said you could find me, you can find me there. You can also find me over at Schmoes of the North, which I seem like I've already plugged already. We've got 2 shows on there. Schmodown Night in Canada, which is essentially is like our sports center where we talk about the week going on in Schmodown. Hasn't been an episode last little while just because we're taking a little bit of a break, but definitely look up for something soon. And then we've also got Northern Consultations, which is where we had the Rager, and we will be having another potential draftee coming up. We're going to be recording that episode this Sunday, so definitely look for that one. I don't want to spoil who it is, just in case. So with that, thank you very much, Matt. This has been great fun.
I enjoyed it. So
yeah, I definitely will have you back on. We are going to be doing returning guests at some point. We just haven't done it yet. But yeah, thank you very much. Check us out over on the Media Sweaties YouTube channel, and we will see you next time. So everybody have a good evening, and don't forget Smash Cancer.
Yeah, Smash Cancer.
Smash Cancer.